Get this to this 100-day marker, and we get to all of this stuff the president's doing on trade, which gets very little attention, but it's been substantive than what he has gotten a lot of countries to do and concede here to extract trade concessions that will be more beneficial, he says, to U.S. workers. We've got market watcher John Layfield on whether that does go unreported, but it's significant for these markets. Down today, but up appreciably this month, and obviously since the president was inaugurated, to say nothing of when he was first elected. So how do you think he's doing in that regard? The markets seem to be thinking well, but what do you think, John?
The markets are saying everything. Look, the market was pretty much flat from November 2014 to November 2016. The only thing that changed was President Trump being elected, and the markets have continued to show their appreciation of this perception of a business-friendly administration. I think the talk with NAFTA, at least the renegotiation, is a welcome sign for the markets. Not sure what's going to happen in South Korea right now, but you have a window next week where you can actually review and either terminate this agreement or renegotiate this agreement if you want to.
Now, I know much is made of the first 100 days, and obviously that started with FDR in his first 100 days, and Congress was almost in constant session then. We were showing here in the president's first 100 days, out one-third of those days. Be that as it may, the president himself did set up high expectations with the comment like, you're going to get tired of winning and all that. Should he have done that in retrospect? Should he now move forward trying to limit expectations and over-delivering the goods? Or what do you recommend?
I think a lot of that was campaign rhetoric to get elected, and surprisingly he did. And then you followed up on that to keep the euphoria going. And I think from that, you don't have the low expectations, and he set a very high bar. And I think that's the problem going forward, because the corporate tax reform is the biggest thing on the table right now.
What if it gets really pushed back, though? And the only reason I say that is we telegraphed on this show that the group you went over with, like the Freedom Caucus, to get the health care thing through, you're going to tick off some moderates, and lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. So this thing could get pushed back, and I'm thinking that since that's integral to getting tax cuts through, that could get pushed back. So what if the tax cuts are significantly delayed, or maybe not even a 2017 development?
I think that's a very realistic possibility. I think the markets are starting to accept that right now, that is a possibility. Look, if you don't get it done by the August break,
you think they've accepted that? I think they don't want to accept it, but when the reality hits that could happen, I mean, seriously happen, do you think they tank or no?
I think they go down. They're up about 13% since the president was elected back in November. So, yeah, the markets need a breather here. They're going up on a lot of euphoria. And I just don't think corporate tax reform happens. I think you got to take the estate tax out, the AMT out, and probably some of the personal income stuff out. And that is very contentious with the Republicans.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can get the whole thing passed.
You know, technology has been, rip-roaring lately. I mean, Amazon and Alphabet and Facebook and Apple. I mean, if you look at just some of those big names, they account for half the gain in the NASDAQ and in technology as a group. What do you think is doing all of this, especially when you think the CEOs of a lot of these companies don't like Donald Trump?
I think it's just technology itself, irrespective of the president. I think they like the fact that the president has met with a lot of these CEOs, and it continues to meet with them on a regular basis. But you look at Amazon, their cloud service has gone up quadruple in the last 4 years. So these companies are growing. You know, Facebook is not just Facebook. It's become a media business, and Amazon is not just selling books anymore, obviously. It's becoming a cloud business. And some of these companies are just becoming huge conglomerates because of the scale of size.
Do you ever get, as a shrewd investor in your own right, do you ever get a little nosebleedy worried when you take a look at Amazon and you take a look that just since, in the last couple of months, Bezos has increased his self-worth by billions. Similar stories across the technology sphere that this has a froth to it, or is it actually such a belated froth because it took a long time to go from 5,000 to 6,000, 17 years. So if anything, the NASDAQ was slow to catch up. What do you think?
I think that if you're investing in Amazon right now, you'll be very happy in 20 years. I was scared of Amazon at $550 when it first broke out at $500, and it's now at $940. So I've lost a lot of money because of my fear. But I would rather be in Amazon right now than say a UPS or anybody that wants to compete with them. I will not invest in a company right now that competes with Amazon, because Amazon is just a retail killer right now.
You know, a lot of people say these are issues. Charles Payne was here earlier talking about among the issues you keep in a portfolio for the long term, that they've become sort of like a portfolio for that. Not long term is always in the eye of the beholder, but how do you feel about that, that these are hold them and keep them stocks?
You look at a company like Apple. I think Steve Jobs would be very shocked if he were still alive, and wish he was, because no telling what he would have done with Apple Television by now.
Imagine,
but
yeah.
He would have been very shocked at the fact that it's now a value stock. You've got a great dividend, you've got a lot of cash, but you're also becoming a media company, and it is a good long-term value holding, which I don't think anybody would have associated Apple with that in the 1990s. It's just the changing dynamics.
You know, I can remember my father, Lord rest him, say of Apple in the early days, it's a technology mutual fund. I mean, he was way ahead of himself, but that's exactly what it's become. All right, my friend, thank you very much. Good seeing you.